could the Ninth Doctor be returning to Doctor Who? Well, yes, he could be. And let's get into why that is. So, obviously, as you may or may not know, the Ninth Doctor once basically walked away from the show entirely. He didn't want anything to do with it. He still had full respect for the fans and the show as, in a whole. But he didn't like the way it was going and the production it was under. But then, to everyone's surprise, out came Christopher Eccleston a few years ago, appearing at some panels and starting to say a little more things about Doctor Who. Before, when he was asked, he would totally shut down, but with the rise of Jodie Whittaker in the role, he began talking out a little bit more, saying that Jodie was his favourite incarnation of the Doctor, and even appeared at some conventions and spoke about more openly about his time on the show and the show as a whole. Now, I don't know if this is why he then decides to slip into Big Finish, or if maybe they reached out earlier or whatever, but nonetheless, later down the line, again a few years ago, Christopher Eccleston then joined Big Finish, which is a Doctor Who kind of, side company in a way, which produces Doctor Who content, which can be linked to the show. If it works, it works, but if it doesn't, it doesn't. It's just like a little extra thing, using real Doctor Who voice actors, writers that have been on the show, writers that probably will be on the show, and writers that were originally on Big Finish and then later came onto the show. So, what does this mean for Christopher Eccleston actually returning to the live-action version of the show outside of Big Finish? Well, we don't know, but we also do. Let me explain. So, as you know, David Tennant obviously is still very big in the era, and we know from filming is going to be doing, stuff with the 60th anniversary. And as we've seen before with another kind of big sort of special through different multimedias, such as Time Lord Victorious, which David Tennant again kind of, I guess you could say, led that whole kind of thing. He was, on the front of all the posters in loads of the different Big Finish audios, the comics, the books, all of that. And Time Lord Victorious went across loads of different multimedia campaigns. Like I said, it was in books, it was in comic books, it was on YouTube. There was a Dalek animated series. It had all sorts of things. Big Finish. If it could have got to TV, maybe it would have been. And from what we know of, and what I've sort of maybe been told by someone maybe, and what we can kind of already see happening, this is going to be the route going down for the 60th anniversary. The 60th anniversary is going to be going down the Time Lord Victorious route, where it spears out across multimedia platforms. Now, if you think, oh, holy shit, I can't afford all those Big Finish, believe me, I'm in that position as well. Don't worry, you won't need to. Because as with Time Lord Victorious, if you didn't buy one bit, if you didn't chip into one aspect, you didn't have to. I bought 1 or 2 Big Finishes. I think I read like 1 book, and then obviously watched the Dalek animated series, which was free to watch on YouTube. But apart from that, that's all I engaged with. But that didn't make my experience any more lesser than someone else. It doesn't mean that I don't know anything. It doesn't mean that, I'm going to miss out on loads of stuff. It doesn't mean that I'm not going to understand the entire Time of Victorious arc. It just means that's the bit I've engaged with, and that's that. And that is how the 60th anniversary is going to work. Obviously, you'll watch the show. You'll watch the 60th anniversary specials, you'll see that happening, you'll see those bits. And then if you want the extra, if you want to engage more, maybe get some more background understanding, or just get some more little fun out of the story, then you engage with the other platforms of media. So books that will link into the story, Big Finish that will link into the story of the 60th anniversary, comics, maybe another animated YouTube series. All of this different stuff from different multi-platform mediums are going to be linking into the 60th anniversary. And this is how the 9th Doctor is more probably than likely going to be a part of the 60th anniversary, either in person or in Big Finish alone. And also, by the way, yes, he could be returning to the show in the Centenary. I'm going to get to that just in a minute. But this is how the 9th Doctor is probably going to be a part of the 60th anniversary. He's going to do some form of recording with Big Finish, and then he will have a Big Finish special for the 60th anniversary, which doesn't directly, because obviously otherwise then you'd have to buy Big Finish, and that's not the point of it, but it indirectly links into the 60th anniversary specials, which are on the TV show. So now, a second ago, I said about Christopher Eccleston being part of the Centenary. And this is because of, like I said, Jodie Whittaker is his favourite Doctor. He has publicly stated that many times. Again, he doesn't particularly like, I guess, the RCD era of the show, because that's why he had troubles on set, that's why he left, blah blah blah. If you want me to do an actual breakdown of why he left, let me know in the comments and we can maybe do that for another video or live stream or something. But he likes the Whittaker era, is what I'm saying. He's engaged with it, he likes to be engaged with it, and he's staying along and he's staying up front and publicly and openly talking positive things about it, and Whittaker especially. So we know that the 60th anniversary is going to arc back to a multitude of things. We know there's going to be costumes, references, characters, all of that stuff. We also know that it's very, very likely at this point that Jodie Whittaker is going to degenerate back into David Tennant, leading into the plot for the 60th anniversary. So, if she does that, maybe there are a few faces that pop up along the way. We know that there are classic outfits returning for the episode, so maybe these other Doctors kind of have a flash or something, and then their outfits come back with them. And this could be the case for Christopher Eccleston. Nothing super big, because he may still not be ready, he may never be ready or want to rejoin the show in that manner again. But for his favourite Doctor, for an era he has actively been a part of, publicly speaking about it positively and all of that good stuff, then maybe, just maybe, if he was asked, say, hey Chris, will you come to the Centenary and do this stuff for us, then maybe he will say yes. So that's going to be it for this video. Will we see him in the 60th? Will he be a part of the story? Probably, almost absolutely yes. Will he be then a part of the Centenary in live action for the very first time since his departure and parting of the ways? Maybe. Let's find out next month. See you all later, and bye-bye. We're smashing mics in karaoke bars.